Welcome to the Bare Naked Women Show. I'm your co-host, Jen Sherman, along with
Pamela Sorensen.
BNW is a show/podcast, an online community where we openly and candidly discuss how to flourish and feel fabulous from the inside to your outside during a new normal. Every other week, we share tips, tricks, advice, ideas, and solve problems on beauty and overall health and wellness. Please join our conversations every other Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. EST on Facebook Live. And next time we'll be on also YouTube Live. What up? And follow us on social. And of course, let us know what topics you want to hear about. With that, Pamela, let's dive right in our guest this evening. Would you like to introduce?
I would love to introduce the one and only Melanie Coburn. Welcome to the show. But before we start with our typical first activity, which of course is the cheers, let me just describe to you who Melanie is by Jenny Stippelman, who is a former guest on Bare Naked Women show, and a friend of Melanie and a friend of both of us. Okay, so who is Melanie? Her personal title is Mama Bear! ! Kindness, intelligence, beauty, determination, and heart personified. Maven of relationships. I mean, that's very, very true. And queen of connections. So I knew this was going to be a great show when we posted that you were going to be on, and like 9 billion people were like, oh my God, I cannot wait. Melanie is the best. So we're both super excited to have you on. Welcome. And I'm excited to have our discussion. We've got a lot to get through today.
Yes, we do. Thanks for having me, ladies. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course. We're so excited to have you.
By the way, before we're going to do the cheers, but I'm dying to know where the evil eye behind you. I'm obsessed.
West Elm. This is my little West Elm wall. My Zoom. This is all for Zoom, baby.
It's funny how we have to find that like perfect Zoom back, you know, the background, the wall, the whatever, and
the Zoom Raider.
There you go.
The Room Raider, Zoom Raider, Room Raider. I don't know. It's a Twitter account. I love it.
The Zoom Raider, Room Raider. Okay, ladies, we're gonna do a cheers.
All right.
Oh, hey, Jenny. Jenny wants to cheers with us too. What's up?
Yay! Hi,
Aww.
Jenny.
Love you, Jenny.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, so Melanie, what are you drinking?
I am having a nice glass of Chenin Blanc from Dry Farm Wines. This is West Coast, which is a French wine. And I don't know if you've heard of Dry Farm Wines, but they are healthier for you. So less guilt. They've got less sugar, less alcohol. And for one reason or another, I don't really get hungover if I have a glass or two on a weeknight. So it's nice. So cheers.
I love it. Jen, how about you?
Well, frankly, that sounds fabulous. I kind of like, is it grape juice or is it actual alcohol? But
it's real wine and it's delicious.
I love it. I will definitely have to try it. Well, I'm doing a little bit more intense. It's still whiskey season here at the Influencer Collective. So I'm doing a Mitger's bourbon. I actually small batch. Actually, our friend Natalie Oliverio brought this over last week. So I have clearly had some of it and some friends too. So I'm not drinking the whole bottle. Don't worry. But no, it's very good. It's you know, put it in this little lovely glass.
I love that glass.
Beautiful.
That's all part of the, you know, the enjoying and the imbibing. It's what is the glassware? It's all, you know, it's kind of the fun. So mine, actually, I'm drinking out of a crystal wine glass. It's supposed to be a red wine glass, but, you know, the white wine was a little too small. This is Sancerre, and it's the bottle. I didn't bring it. It's in my refrigerator. But Jen's still like whiskey town. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta drink some white wine. But, you know, I'll drink whatever.
Sancerre is my favorite.
Sancerre is so good. I literally, so Pamela's turned me on to Sancerre for sure. And there's this one bottle that like I just love from Potomac Wine and Spirits, but you've had with me, Pamela. It's just like, for me, it's like a bottle of Sancerre. It's like it doesn't last that long. No. You kind of have to have someone to drink it with, or yourself. Just depends. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like I just like, I don't, I it's like, it's kind of more of a luxury than just whiskey. Cause it's like whiskey doesn't taste, it's spread out, you know, of how long it takes to drink. So, you know, but love sounds there. That was a long answer.
Happy spring. Happy spring. So I think we're going to delve right in. And Jen, I know I love the first question that you had that you wanted to bring up to Melanie about, you know, this kind of cool power couple situation.
Sure. You know, I think an interesting topic, and typically we don't talk about, we don't really talk about relationships or partnerships because it's just more about, you know, women. But I think particularly in this sense, it does go to women and, you know, this idea of building this empire. I mean, maybe that's selfishly because that's my dream as well, to have a partner to do that with too. So, you know, maybe I'm just doing some research here, but I think, you know, it's really cool of how you've mentioned of how, you know, you started your relationship with this really strong foundation and we're able to build, you know, nothing's easy, but able to build personally and professionally this amazing partnership and also have a family. And so I just love to kind of hear some of your, you know, background on that and story.
Sure. Yeah. So Derek and I met when we were 26 years old. We come from very different backgrounds and our communication styles are very different. So when we met, we were very we bickered a lot. It was very hard to communicate. We didn't fight well. And we realized early on that if we were going to make it, we had to prioritize communication and mental health. And we started seeing a therapist really early on who guided us through those conversations and helped us identify our weaknesses and our strengths and how we work well together. And, you know, we really do work well together because we're very different. He's the visionary. I'm the details. And, you know, he's, believe it or not, more of an introvert. I'm an extrovert. So there's just lots of things that complement each other in our relationship, which has allowed us to build a business together and a family and all of those things. I think what maybe the audience and you might like to know, Jen, is like, I also think prioritizing our relationship first before being parents is also very important. We take time to go on dates. We take time for each other. We give each other space to do the things we need to do, like work out or see friends or go shopping. And we know how important it is because our relationship is going to last a lot longer. Our kids are only going to be in our house for 18 years each, right? Hopefully. And so we're here for the long run. This is a marathon, right? We've prioritized it from the beginning, and that's sort of like what has gotten us through and building Cadre and building our legacy. It just kind of came naturally through those practices.
So I have a question to piggyback on Jen's question. I mean, how? Like that's so intentional. Did you find that was like, okay, this is intentional that we want to together not only build a family, but to build Cadre and to build this empire. And we intentionally are going to be about wellness and health and self-care along the same way. And how did you get to that point where you can just have that discussion?
I attribute so much of our success to therapy because it really gives you this open forum to have these conversations and think of long-term and think about things that you want and you dream of, right? And I wanted a family and that came first. And once I had a family and realized like the job that I had, I was working long hours. I was at somebody else's disposal and we realized, okay, well, we got to change this. We can change this. Let's do it. And that's sort of where Cadre came along. We wanted a lifestyle company where we, you know, something we really enjoyed and something we could do together, but would also give us the flexibility to go on the field trip and pick up the kid if they're sick, you know? And so it all just sort of fell into place, to be perfectly honest. But there was intention with the process, right? And intention with prioritizing therapy and prioritizing communication. So
in other words, it's not easy.
No, it's a lot of work. Yeah. Yep.
Jen, do you have any? I'll
piggyback off of that one. I'll tell you something. Therapy is everything. I mean, I just think that like you can do the self work. We have to start with therapy and then do the self work, and then maybe find like a spiritual guide or find some type of meditation because it's like, but it's never ending. And I think it's interesting too. You made a great point, Melanie, about you have to prioritize your relationship first, because in yourselves first, because the end of the day, the kids will be out the door. Then guess what happens? You're with your partner, right? Like that's it. Like you guys have to, yeah, it's like, it's like I respect my parents so much because I know they have a good marriage since they've been inside in a house for a year straight together in quarantine lockdown still. And I was like, that's goals. You know what I'm saying? Like that's tolerating in partnership. And I just think that was a really interesting point to share, because I think a lot of people say family and like kids. It's like, no, it's the partner and you first, and really then like, kids, sure, but they're going to go and off and do their own thing. So I love that.
I think as a parent too, you owe it to your children and to show them how to treat their significant other, right? You want to teach them what a real healthy relationship looks like. So if we're ignoring ourselves and ignoring each other to fend for them, then, they think that's what they have to do. And I don't think that that's what's necessary as a parent. I think that you need to lead by example and show them how to love themselves and love, those around them. So, yeah.
I love that. And I'll just, before we move on to the next topic, which I love because I'm dying to hear about this one thing, is same thing with Jen. I have such admiration for my parents. They've been together since, they just turned 80. They got married when they were 22, both in birthdays are in February. And I remember my mom would always say, your dad in my relationship comes first. If there's 4 kids, it's we are first. And I mean, I remember as a little kid, they would go back to their bedroom and they would have steak and have like wine and everything. And they go back to the bedroom and lock the door. And we're like, what's going on in there? Like, why is this happening? Like, their date night at home, whatever. And it's just, I mean, it's like romantic during a time that's probably was totally chaos with 4 little kids. And they're still, they're in lockdown together. And I'm like, you guys didn't kill each other yet, but
they would have already killed each other, I think, by this point. You know what I'm saying? Like even before the lockdown, that's the whole thing. It's like, all right,
That's so true. That's so true. So, okay, the next topic. Jen is really into meditation. I've tried it. I tried every once in a while. So we can talk about that. Yes. But we also want to talk about this other thing, swamping.
Yeah. Yeah. So swamping, it's funny. I am actually not really into meditation as a practice solely by itself. I am much more of a yoga, meditation and movement. I've done aerial yoga, regular yoga, hot yoga. I've done gong meditation, sound baths, like all of these different forms of meditation. There's something about being in my body when I meditate versus being completely still. That is just my preference. And what's interesting, I have a group of friends, some of them, Emily, who does the breath work, and Cami. There's a group of us who've done some really interesting exploration spiritually and with some of these things I've mentioned. But the one that I told you guys about, the swamping, I had recently done with them. And it is a meditation of sorts, in that we're listening to music and we're listening to songs and we're talking about our emotions and how emotions get trapped in the body. And so a woman guides us through 6 songs. The first 2 are extremely like mad songs, like so mad, and you punch a pillow, punch the air, dance, fling your hair, do whatever you need to do to like release that anger from your body for 2 songs, right? And she's kind of like talking you through it and showing you some things. And then we go through really sad songs for 2 songs where you're like crying. And this, of course, the song is the saddest song you've ever heard. So you go from these like just raging feelings to these like like in a ball crying like a toddler. And then the next 2 songs are about being sensual, which is just like crazy to think that can come from those 2 emotions. But as females, we carry the broad spectrum of emotions in our body every day. That's just how we're made up. We feel the full spectrum. We can go from crying to angry to feeling sexual or sensual in any given moment. And that's just how we're created. And there's power in that, and power in knowing how to harness it and how to experience it, and that it's okay and that it's beautiful. So yeah, that's swamping. It's pretty amazing.
Ooh, I frankly, like, I will say something, as someone who like I really like music, and like this morning I could go from like listening it's actually my Peloton app, which I like favorite all the songs. So it's like, really intense music, then goes to like The Scientist by Coldplay. So I'm pretty much like in a slew of emotions before I even get to my desk in the morning, but like I'm here for it, right? Let's get it out. But I think it's really interesting to your point, Melanie, of that, like those feelings and like the music that activates that too, right? And then the breath work and the yelling. And it's like I always feel like after I have a session with Emily that I just went to a spa. Yes. Like I just went to a spa, and it's like
release. It's a release. Yeah. I mean, emotions are feelings in motion. So yeah.
I love that you recognize for yourself that the sitting still type of meditation isn't the type of meditation that fills you with the type of aura and joy that you need, and that it doesn't feed your soul. And it is important for people to know that there are different types of meditation. There's walking meditation, and there's other, as you had said, these other types of meditations. And that I think a lot of people get really scared when they hear the word meditation, and they're like, oh, I can't sit still. But yeah, I think it's really cool that, what other types of meditations are there?
Well, I love guided meditations. Mm-hmm. I can do those more than I can do my own, just sitting in silence. There's so many. There's the sound, the bath. There's I think next on my list that I'll probably do in the next few years is a silent retreat, which sounds interesting.
Like silent the whole time.
Mm-hmm. It's not a meditation per se, but it's meditation is a way of like getting all the noise out of your head, right? So being in a silent retreat and being forced not to say anything, you're listening, right? So it's just sort of heightening your senses in one way or the other, which I think meditation, that's what it's good for. It helps you calm the chatter back here and recognize it and witness it, and then move forward in your day knowing that you can move forward without it.
Quick follow-up on that. So if you're all silent, then who are you listening to? Your brain and yourself?
You just become more aware of everything around you. You're looking at people's body expressions, the movement. You're with other people. You're just not saying words, and you still communicate. It's just a different way of communicating.
I'd be like,
I'd be writing things down. I'd be drawing on a stick with like a dirt and with a stick.
No, that actually does sound magical.
I didn't say it would be easy. I just said it's on my list.
I'll add it to mine too. Melanie, count me in. If you find a good one, I'm in.
Yeah.
What happens if you talk? What do they do to you?
I don't know, but I want to find out.
You can find out for us.
Yeah.
There's so many different practices and experiences. And is there anything that you've heard of that you're like, no, that is something I would not do? Or are you just like, I'm going to try it all?
No, there's really not anything. I tried everything. I'm like a try everything once. I am not ever going to skydive. I know like a lot of my friends in ADHD, Derek wants to do it so bad because it apparently is a really good release for especially people with ADHD. But I'm not interested in that. I'll try.
I have really bad ADHD.
Huh?
I feel like I have really bad ADHD, but I'm not sure if that would help because I'd be like, oh my gosh, can I? Well, someone's holding you, right?
You're tandem. Yeah. You wouldn't do it by yourself the first time.
With ADHD, skydiving alone with ADHD is a little concerning in my mind.
You'd be like all of a sudden like flying off. You're like in Spain somewhere. Like, what happened?
Where'd Jen go?
Parachute. Oops.
Oh my God. So, okay, this topic I love. Sorry, I have been having major technology issues today. Okay, so you both have something in common. You both moved during the pandemic. One was a little Jen's was a little less probably chaotic because it was one person, but Melanie, your entire family moved, and she moved kind of like down the street. Melanie moved to a different state and with her whole family, and So tell us about that, like moving during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was 100% a COVID pandemic move. We've lived in a beautiful 3-bedroom condo on U Street since 2008. We raised both our boys there in the city. Everybody was shocked when we would tell them we did that, but we lived very minimally. We were a 1 in, 1 out family. We were a sports activities, lined up all the time family where we weren't that home stuck in our space that much, right? We also had 3 parks in walking distance. So it was never a super uncomfortable situation for me. And I loved being in the city. I think a lot of our identity was kind of tied up in living in the city and being part of DC and walking everywhere. And, it was really difficult decision for us. We started looking at September of 2019. And we're looking in DC only, but we had 2 terrible, painful bidding war losses. And after the second one, which wasn't until June of 2020, we opened up our search to Arlington. And once we saw how much more for our, bang for our buck that we got out here, we were just like, oh, wow. So we took a leap, we did it. And I have been kind of like pleasantly surprised. I was terrible, like thinking, oh, everybody sells out. They move to the suburbs. And then I get here and I'm like, wait, it's so easy. Like, why didn't I do this before? The grocery stores have huge parking lots. Like you don't have to worry about paying $25 to go to the doctor to park in the.
Oh God, it was the worst.
And you have the same amazing food. I was always worried about the restaurants, and it's not the same restaurants. Like I know, but I'm only 18 minutes away, so it's not terrible. So I don't know what my hang up was. I still identify as DC. We're still DC based, but we live in Arlington now and our kids walk to school and it's been amazing. So yeah.
That is great. I mean, frankly, I felt that for you. I saw that and I was like, I think everyone was like just moving and I was like, and then when I saw the picture, I was like, yeah, they did. I was like, yeah, they did. I could see that. Like, I was like, I felt that was going to come. And quite frankly, I mean, I know it hurts. It probably did hurt, but it happened for a reason. Yeah. And you're exactly where, you should be. So
we'll be back in the city. We're going to be the empty nesters in like a chic condo with all the amenities.
Exactly. Like literally. That's all you get. Or you could go like the other route, or you could get like, one of those condos, like where you have like your own rooftop and it's like one of those like converted houses. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I also feel that for you with like a hot tub on top.
Yes. 100%. That'll be us.
Yeah. Yeah. I can totally see that. But I love that at least you will have that experience. So it's not like you're like, I wonder if you actually did it and you went through with the action, and now you can say, now we had that experience and we loved it, and now it's time for us to move back and have this experience. So I've never lived in DC proper. I went all the way, like I started inching in from like Fairfax and Reston. I kept getting closer and closer, and then like Courthouse, and now I'm in Roslyn.
You're like on the border now.
I'm like, I can walk. I can physically walk to DC, but I'm like, nope. I've got to have that river. I can go and visit, but I gotta be over here. This is home. And I don't know. Maybe one day I will, but I don't know. So I find that what Virginia you did was brave.
Is for lovers, right? My license plate says that now. I'm so excited.
You actually got one of those?
For lovers. Yeah.
Okay. So you actually have a Virginia license plate now. See, I guess you're gonna have to, right?
No, they charge you. They like come around and look at your driveway and send you a letter about how much property tax you owe on your car. It's legit. That's
just because I remember I was a Maryland resident for a while, like, and then when I moved to DC, I was Maryland because that's where I grew up, and I was like, I don't know, something doesn't sit right now. I feel like I have to change my plates. Yeah, because I feel like it's like, you can't really park around. I will if you come to DC, I will. You can use my plates. So you can use the parking.
I'll use your visitor parking pass.
Yeah, exactly. I got you.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, welcome to Virginia, or whatever county it is. Personal property tax.
Yes, it's no joke.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But so is all the parking tickets we got in DC. The taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, it evens out. It evens out.
It does.
Well, I'm kind of excited because our next section of the show is my favorite. And that is, and it's funny because I was like, typically I'm like, oh my gosh, I have like 500 products to show. And I forgot which one, because when you have so many to choose from, you're like, I don't know which one. I don't know which one, but I did choose mine. So this is the Flourishing 5, where our guests get to feature and showcase and recommend beauty, health, wellness, self-care products, practices, apps, whatever, anything that they want to, even food that they have that they love and that they think that we should know about. So wait, I found it.
Oh,
It's
I was
time.
wondering where I was like, Belle.
It's one thing I actually remembered today. Yes, it is time for the Flourishing 5. Whoop, 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 whoop. Melanie.
All
So
right.
you're going to go first. Jen's going to go second because I know she's excited about hers. I'll go third.
I really am excited today. I'm just
And then you're going to finish up with the rest of your 4. So go ahead.
So I go first?
Yes.
All right. I think my first is going to be my favorite to go delivery meal service. I use Vegetable and Butcher, which is out of DC. And they are incredible, super healthy, tasty, locally sourced, and I can't say enough nice things about them. They also own the tonic company that I love, Goutte, which are fresh pressed juices and tonics and milks. So Vegetable and Butcher, can't live without them. That is my lunch every day during the week.
question, follow up. Are they only vegetarian?
Nope, it's Vegetable and Butcher. So I get
Vegetable
it with
and
the meat.
butcher.
Yeah, I get it with
I didn't know if it was like a play on vegetables or like they're being like, okay, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yum. I'll have to look that up.
Delicious.
But that would also be like rude to the Georgetown butcher who's like right down the street. I feel like it's in the vicinity. It's like I can't like cheat on the butcher on the street.
Not like you getting meat from the butcher. It's a meal. So it's like a lunch
Okay,
meal.
perfect. So
So
it would be
salad with a little bit of meat on top, basically. Yeah.
perfect. Okay, so
Yum.
it would be kosher. See the pot on the what I did there?
Yeah.
Okay, so my product is this Oral-B Mist for Volume. Okay, I don't know if you noticed, but my hair is a little bit more voluminous today.
Sorry.
Uh-oh. Melanie went away.
Melanie couldn't handle my hair. It was like just
No, it was so beautiful that you knocked my camera off.
So I went to, I've been blow drying my hair as of recently. And I was just like, listen, I just need more volume. And so I went to Blue Mercury, shout out to down the street. And it's this volume mist for volume. I only use Oral-B products when it comes to the blowing, drying, and straightening my hair. And it's just fabulous. I mean, it's lasted all day, it's just lasted all day. So recommendation, check it out at Blue Mercury. They'll most likely have some kind of a discount, or not discount, but they're running promotions a lot with you can get $20 off or whatever, because support small businesses. So, well, yeah, they're locally here. So that's small business stuff.
And I love their products. How they smell are so delicious.
Yeah.
Oral-B is my favorite.
Scent.
Yes, I actually bought they have a body roller that you can buy. That's like the scent to roll on. That's how much I like their scent. It's so good.
I've been doing some of these perfumes and roller aromatherapy balls, and I'm like, the only person who smells me is myself and my dog, but that's okay. That's okay. I smell good to myself. And that's important, and to my dog. So mine is weirdly, okay, so rose gold is my thing. I don't know if you can tell, but if you were to come to my home, every single thing, my bathroom or technology has rose gold covers on it. So crazily, I didn't even plan this. This is called Color Deep Laboratories. It is Glam Shine. Now, it's a color palette. This is actually rose gold, but the colors in this are so spring and fun.
Pamela. Those are
Wow.
Like,
you could literally. I'm worried if you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, what you would do with those eyes, because if you can't fall asleep, that's fun.
I've been playing around, and especially like they're different colors, like the pinks and the purples and some different ones, some golds. And I mean, yeah. So all week, who wears makeup? Who puts on anything? And I figured, why not play around? It's just kind of fun, kind of like spark a little joy especially during the spring. And I will show up to a Zoom call and people are like, are you like a 12-year-old who has a like Barbie head and putting it on, like just doing it? I was like, woo! And yeah, I just wanted to play around. I had 15 minutes. Thanks. But it's fine. I love it. So I love this new color palette.
It's beautiful.
All right, Melanie, you go next.
Cool. All right, next one. One of the things that Derek and I have worked on the last few years is optimizing our sleep. And one of the best purchases I've made in probably the last 5 years is the Chili Pad, which they also have the Uller system, but it's called, like, the head company is called the Chili Pad. And what it is basically a mat that you lay on your bed above your mattress below your sheets that pushes water throughout the pad throughout the evening, so you don't change temperature. So I usually set mine around 69. He usually sets us around 65. And basically what that means, like, think about how many nights you wake up and you wake up hot because you had too many covers on, and then you take them off. 30 minutes later, you wake up, you're freezing, so you have to put them back on. And then that cycle happens throughout the night, right? Well, this doesn't happen. You can have as many covers as you want, but it regulates your body temperature so that you never like overheat. And I tell you, everyone I've recommended this to thanks me on a regular basis because it's changed their life.
What brand, by the way?
Chili Pad?
Oh, that's the brand. Chili Pad is the brand.
That's called Chili technology.
Yeah.
And you put it on top?
You put it on top of your mattress under your sheets.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
amazing.
So this is neither of you are hopefully, I mean, I'm not going to say the M word, but I know my mother's going through the M word at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so she cannot sleep throughout the night. Sorry, Judy. She's not even on Facebook. Sorry, Judy. She cannot sleep throughout the night.
She's on YouTube. She's on YouTube.
I just looked it up because poor thing can't sleep because of the slight factors. So I actually just looked it up because that's why I just sent it to her, because I think it would be a whole night and day situation.
It will be. It's amazing.
I will just also say that I'm totally getting that, because I am one of those people, and especially because Frasier is so warm and she snuggles with me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I like throw off my blanket because I have so many blankets and so many sheets. I got a new fan that's like, then I get too cold from the fan. And so I'm like, I can't figure out what the wind is blowing on my face and my window open. I think this is going to be a much more less chaotic situation because I get really hot in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Number 3 for you.
For me?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Mine, third one also has to do with sleep. It's the Aura Ring. I don't know if you've heard of the Aura Ring, but it is a wearable device that measures body temperature, heart rate variability, your sleep, fitness, everything. And it basically is an app that gives you a score every day for your readiness and for your sleep and your fitness. I love it because I can experiment with my sleep, so I can try different things. I've learned, for me, the best thing to do is work out. Whenever I work out, I sleep better. Whenever I have 1 glass of wine versus like 2 or 3 glasses of wine, and I stop drinking at least an hour and a half before bed, I'm golden. So it just allows you to experiment with different things, right? So I've even recently experimented with cold showers and box breathing and things like that to change my HRV. And it's really interesting how you can do that when you have the data. So it's called the Aura Ring, OURARING.com. And they've actually been working with the NBA, I think the NHL, and they've been monitoring the players in those leagues during COVID, because it can anticipate when your body temperature starts to rise, and it can alert you. They've been doing studies, I think, out of UCLA. So it's interesting. That's my other favorite.
Super advanced.
I mean, my sleep meditation from the Insight Timer sometimes works, but the other one, sorry, this is a side note of sleeping, is that like what can actually make you go to sleep and stuff, because sleep is so important. And the Insight Timer one, there was one I did Thursday night, which was on abundance, and it's like it perked me up. I was like, you're not putting me to sleep. I'm trying to listen to you now. So now I can't go to sleep. You know, that's not, I'm going to have to probably put a unsubscribe. I'm going to put a recommendation. Like maybe this should be not like a sleep meditation. You know what I'm saying?
That might be a morning meditation.
No, so does it come with an app? Is that basically how, okay.
Mm-hmm. So it gives you a score every day, which is great. Because if you had a bad night's sleep and you're not feeling great, it's probably not the best day to work out anyway. That's usually when injuries happen, or you know, your body still needs to recover for some reason. So I like having that number when I'm like, oh, I don't need to work out today.
Yes. That's the number I've been getting every morning lately, that even without the Aura ring by accident. That is amazing. Okay, number 4, right? Number 4, Jen?
Yes, number 4.
From Melissa. Melanie.
Okay. So the other thing I can't live without is bulletproof coffee. I don't know if you guys have heard of bulletproof coffee. I've been doing it since February 2014. It is a combination of some sort of single source organic coffee with MCT oil, Kerrygold unsalted grass-fed butter. It's like a mouthful. And then I also put in the bulletproof collagen protein, which Dave Asprey was also a former speaker for Cadre. He has a whole book called The Bulletproof Diet. But we've been doing the bulletproof coffee since February 2014, like I mentioned. And what it does is it basically allows you to not eat until like late lunchtime. So it allows you to sort of intermittent fast. I mean, you're not technically intermittent fasting because you're still having the oil and the fat in the morning. But what it does is it allows your body to not produce as much insulin in the morning because you're not having, you know, a regular coffee or a latte, something with sugar or milk. And so it really like keeps it level. And it's changed my life. I love it because I can now like worry about feeding my kids, not worry about myself. I'm usually not a breakfast person anyway. And it just allows me to get through my morning and have a good flow state in the morning and then worry about eating a healthy lunch.
Melanie, what if you actually eat breakfast though? I mean, are you supposed to not eat breakfast if you have that?
Yeah. I haven't eaten breakfast I've eaten like very, very few breakfasts since 2014. We went away this weekend and I had breakfast because we didn't bring all this with us. But if you drink the bulletproof coffee, you're not hungry because it's filling.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like breakfast in a cup, basically.
God, but I have this whole thing like it's a ritual where I cut up the little tiny slices of red onion. I might have like some avocado. I have like a hard boiled egg and I take out the yolk and I toast my bagel, and I don't know. I just feel, and then I have my like 5 Nespressos. Maybe that's part of my problem.
The other thing, Pamela, is that once you start, so when I used to have 2 grande lattes a day. And when I started doing this, I didn't have an afternoon cup ever again, because you don't have the crash. You don't have the caffeine doesn't have the same effect on your body and the sugar from the coffee, you don't have the crash in the afternoon. So it allows you to also sort of decrease your caffeine intake, which I appreciate as well. Because I don't like having coffee in the afternoon. It also affects your sleep.
It does. You don't think about it like what you put in your system to what time, right? Like, okay, sure. Because I have ADHD. I take my medication for it, and if I take it a little too late in the day, it'll just really screw up my sleep cycle. But I'm like, oh, I just took it, but it doesn't matter. And then also coffee, or when you stop drinking, because that will just all screw up your sleep cycle. Even to your point, Melanie, of just stopping an hour before, it's like let your body hydrate, all this stuff, and then go to sleep.
Yep. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
There's a lot of focus on sleep.
I like the sleep meditation. I'm leaning in.
Ladies, we need our beauty sleep. That's when your cells regenerate. That's when your brain cells regenerate. I mean, people don't take into account how important it is. And people who are proud of being able to get by with like 5 hours of sleep, it's not actually a good thing. It's actually very bad long term.
Yeah. So I'll chime in on that one real quick. You know, as overall business owners here, I don't think this whole like hustle, like I like the word, sure, work hard, all that jazz. We're playing all day because it's our businesses. But my point is that this whole, wake up grinding thing. Okay, how long is that going to last, honey bunnies? Like you need sleep. Like that's what the pandemic has taught us, is that like slow down and rest.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's your final flourishing 5?
Oh gosh, if I had my final flourishing 5, I would always say I'm also a beauty counter slinger, and I like so into their products that their sunscreen is what got me into their brand and made me fall in love with their brand. But I actually sort of came into it because I did a detox, a very, very intense detox a few years ago, where they had us take a product inventory and go through your kitchen, your bathroom, all of your cosmetics, everything in your house, and go to ewg.org/skin deep. And they have like scores for all the products, household products, everything, cosmetics. And when I did that, I was horrified about the level of toxicity that I was bringing into my house, to my kids, to myself. And so I started researching different brands, and I basically like switched every single product in our house. And for the cosmetic side, that was like the brand I gravitated to because they're one of the more transparent brands out there. Unfortunately, in our country, cosmetics don't have to give you any sort of, like, the ingredients lists are never full. They can say it's like pigment and you don't know what color pigment, where it came from or anything. So it's a highly unregulated industry, but Beauty Counter is a B Corp, and they, which I know you probably know what a B Corp is, but they have to, there's so many rules and how you get voted into being a corporation. And they release all their ingredients, and they lobby on the Hill for more regulation. So Beauty Counter, I cannot live without, but their sunscreen specifically is what got me into the brand. It's the only one my kids like. They don't like all the hard, pasty, gross sunscreens. They're like, I only want that one. It's not cheap.
Yeah, but just to your point, our skin is our biggest organ, and we absorb everything. And especially when it comes to sunscreen. I mean, I know I put all different types of stuff on my face and my body every once in a while, but I mean, I do feel like there's sunscreen is something that since we want to soak it up anyhow, that we should definitely be very much more cognizant of what are the ingredients in there that we're eating, basically.
Right. Yeah. And we don't wash that off, right? You put that on and you don't. Makeup and mascara, you wipe it off, you take it off, but sunscreen you kind of leave on, and lotion and things like that.
All right. So we're going to next go to the recommended routine or ritual. And this is more of like a self-care routine. Melanie, you're more than welcome to start, since you are our guest.
Okay. Yeah, I can start. Or, yeah, sure. I can start for like morning routine or any routine.
Or any routine.
Any routine?
Any routine.
My morning routine is the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is my 5-minute journal, which is a gratitude journal. I used to use the hard copy, but I now do the app because the app allows you to add pictures, which I find super fun when I can flip back to years and months and weeks past and see like what photo that I had that day that I really appreciated. So I use the 5-minute journal. It's just a 3-prompt app in the morning and in the evening. I obviously start my day with bulletproof coffee. I take supplements that I've worked with a nutritionist with. So I have personalized supplements in the morning and the evening, but I will give a shout out to my probiotic, the Seed, SEED probiotic is amazing. And now I feel like half the cadreers now use it because we turn them onto it. It's just really good. We also use the bulletproof vitamin D. It's a drop with K2. And most people don't know this, but vitamin D will not really absorb very well when you take a pill. So the droplets that have the K2 combined, it helps it absorb. I always do some sort of movement every day, and usually it's bar 3. That's like my go-to fitness workout. I'm still coming into the city at least once a week to do bar 3 in the park with Alicia and the team there that I'm obsessed with. I mentioned the cold shower and the box breathing. I try to do that every day. Derek, my husband's crazy. He does like Wim Hof and, the cold plunges and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like a 30-second cold shower is good for me. But it does help your, just your entire like nervous system. And it helps your HRV, your heart rate variability. It's like it's proven, and I've experimented with myself, and I do notice a big difference. It sucks when you're going through it, but when you're done, you feel so rejuvenated and that you could like conquer anything. And then I would say, I end every day with a drink of calm, which is like a magnesium drink that sort of like helps me wind down and get ready for bed. And then I end each day with prayer. So we pray with our kids every night, and it's just a way sort of similar to gratitude. It's just like being thankful, having a mindful thought in our head before we go to sleep. And that helps end our day. So
I love that. I love that. I mean, first of all, you guys are going to live to be 500 and look like you're 30 for the rest of your lives. Okay.
Oh, you're so sweet. I hope so.
I love that. What beautiful suggestions. Just really, I as you could tell, I was taking copious notes.
Oh, thank you.
Jen, how about you?
I mean, I don't know if I can beat that exact whole routine. To be
Nobody can. Come on.
But here's the thing, too. You just got to be proactive. So, I mean, I'm taking copious notes, too. It's like, excuse me. I actually don't know if I've actually mentioned this yet on the B&W show. So this is my new routine, is I have a spiritual guide because I think, I realized something that it's kind of interesting about life. I'm always in competition with myself, right? So it's kind of like, all right, how can I continuously to kind of be better and the best version of myself? And I thought, after years of therapy, which therapy's never over. I'll be back. Don't worry, Stacy. Maybe not you, Stacy, but another Stacy, right? So, but in between Stacy, I thought it'd be great to really just kind of look more inside myself, deeper than what I did with therapy. And so my spiritual guide, is nice because he is the one who kind of pushes me. I have homework assignments and all these things. So, I've been journaling a lot. I journal when I want to journal. I don't really necessarily make it a forced habit where if I'm not feeling it, I don't have to do it. The meditation, listening to just actually meditation music in the morning, and just now having my mornings to truly myself, I think is really nice to set the day. So that's been my self-care routine probably in the past 30 days is my spiritual guide. His name's Jared. He's amazing. He's out in San Diego if anyone wants him.
Cool.
How about you, Pamela?
So I'll share two that I've incorporated into my life in my lockdown home. So one is I make my bed every day. And actually I changed out my duvet cover. So it's now like this kind of white t-shirt cover looking thing, and it looks very like hotel-y, which I love. And I changed out the pillows and different pillows and everything. And one of the things that I have to do every day is make my bed. And it has to I have to have the right pillows, and I have these gray pillows and this round pillow, and I put the gray comforter thing at the bottom of the bed, and I put her little doggy blanket and her friends on the bed. Yes, I know that's a little crazy, but it's like something that it's like this kind of like this, okay, now I can get my day really started. And, she's eating her breakfast and I'm like in the bedroom, like she's not on the bed. I can actually go and make the bed. But it's kind of like, if I didn't make my bed every day, I would feel like I'd be like, at some point I would have to go back and make it. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that I've been doing, and I know I mentioned the aromatherapy, but I have these diffusers now where you put water on the top and put like a little tea light in, and you put the droplets of, I use lavender, and I use eucalyptus, and I use orange, and I use tea tree oil. And not only am I doing that pretty much little bits and pieces through my house, but also in my bedroom, I take a small little porcelain dish, put some water in it, and put some lavender in it, and I put it next to my bed when I go to sleep. And it's like it's so relaxing. I mean, just going along that whole theme of sleeping.
I love that. If you like eucalyptus, another hot tip, if you buy some branches at Trader Joe's and hang them in your shower, when your shower gets hot and steamy, turn it on like a little while before you're going to get in it. It smells so good.
Okay, hold on. Can I have like a day at the spa with that house? Because like I think I need to just like take these and just I'll have like my phone open, like my Amazon cart, and just be like, okay, perfect, take a picture of that.
You can get those.
I'm a little
I have them way behind me. Those eucalyptus things.
I'm a little overwhelmed by all the things that I have to do post this interview. It's like, oh, okay, all right. So Luke was in the shower. I look distracted. It's because my brain's like,
pad. I got an order from Vegetable and Butcher.
I have a code you can use too.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send it to you guys.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. This has been so fun. I mean, we're coming at around the close of this wonderful conversation.
You want to bell it? I feel like Pamela's feeling a bell right now.
But you know, we want to. Why am I echoing?
No.
Oh, okay. Jen's like, yes, you're echoing. So is there anything that you want to leave us with, or any deep thoughts or ideas, or anything that you just you can think of for our audience that you just want to mention?
I mean, I think mindfulness and gratitude for me has been a life changer, really focusing on that and focusing on everything that's in my life. I find joy in everything, even in COVID. I've journaled through that whole craziness in my 1,400 square foot condo with my, husband, 2 boys, and 70-pound dog. And, you find joy in it, right? I think that's like my biggest takeaway. Sorry, I have like more deep thoughts.
No, I appreciate that. I think it's sometimes like the little things, the simple things, and it's how do you find joy in a every day, and how do you find joy in moments that are like the most dull, boring, bad, weird, or most stressful. And if you just train your brain to just say, in this very moment, I'm going to find something that is going to spark joy. I think it's something that we all need to be doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yay. Well, thank you, Melanie, so much for spending your 5:30 to 6:30 time with us live, sharing your Flourishing 5, sharing some of your best practices and some of the fun, cool things that you're doing. We learned a lot. Jen, do you want to say anything?
I like muted myself. I think if I look at like honestly, sometimes the Zoom's any longer, I'm gonna go nuts. I'm like, what day is it? Oh, it's Tuesday. Okay, so no, Melanie, I just want to say thank you. I think there was it was a different type of conversation, as all our conversations are different, which is so nice. And I think the really, I've been meditating during this show on the importance of sleep and the importance of really taking care of yourself in that regard, where we are running really quickly. And that's important. It's important. That's half of your day is sleeping, right? Hopefully that you can make it through the night. So I think that was my key takeaway of our show tonight. So I just wanted to thank you so much for joining us. And I am inviting myself over when it's safe.
Absolutely. The sauna awaits.
I got to get out to the burbs.
Yep. You guys are welcome anytime. I'd love to see you.
Hop, skip, and jump away. Skip, and jump. Just Arlington. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another fun episode of Bare Naked Women Show. Woo! And we'll be back 2 weeks from today. And as
preview the guest, Pamela. Preview the guest.
Christina Buweri, who is the CEO of Reston Limousine, who is going to be so fun. So fun. Hopefully she's watching right now. If not, well, she can watch, and you can watch on our YouTube channel as well. So with that, all right, everybody. Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye.